I don't know about you, but I'm sure glad that I learned about the Pythagorean theorem in school. I mean, those X's and Y's, they have really come in handy. I don't even know if the Pythagorean theorem has X's and Y's. I don't remember. That's the point. The point is, we're not taught in school what we actually need to live better, healthier, more enriched lives. I have my suspicions about why that is, but that's a topic for another video. Now, I keep hearing, I don't understand investing at all. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how it all works. Every time I ask advice from someone, either get brushed off or I get told just invest in ETF. And I get it, but we don't gatekeep here, so let's go back and learn what they should have been teaching us in high school, shall we? If you're new here, hi, I'm Charlie. I hit $1 million in net worth by the time I was 35, and no, I didn't come from money, and I've had an average paying job my entire career. I knew absolutely nothing about investing when I started, and I'm here to help you demystify investing, the stock market, and how to build real wealth so that you can get off the hamster wheel, stop living paycheck to paycheck, and actually have time and freedom to do the things you want, when you want, with who you want. 50% of women and 47% of men between the ages of 55 and 66 have $0 in retirement savings. I don't want you to become part of that statistic. Time to go back to basics. What is investing? What does that even mean? Investing is simply the process of buying assets with the overall goal of making a profit or earning income over time. You can do this by investing, or think of it as putting your money into many different things. This can be stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, crypto, ETFs, etc. The reason you want to invest money and not just save it is so that you can take advantage of what's called compound interest. I'll do a separate video explaining what exactly compound interest is and how it works, but all I want you to know for right now is that you want to be investing so that you can take advantage of this, because it truly is the eighth wonder of the world. So we know what investing is. It's putting our money into assets that hopefully appreciate or increase over time. But how do we do this? Where do we find these assets? And how do we know which one to start with? The one I always recommend for beginners if you're just getting started is a Roth IRA, and an IRA stands for an individual retirement account. It's a tax advantage individual retirement account to which you contribute, put money into, using after-tax dollars. That means you have already paid taxes on those dollars, and so when they grow in the account for you, you don't have to pay taxes on that money anymore. Now, there are a few exceptions to that, but just forget that for right now. Just you put money in, it grows tax-free. You've already paid taxes on it. So where do we go to get an IRA? Well, you're either gonna get it one of two places. If you're employed, sometimes your employer will offer this as part of your benefits package. So if you're employed, ask your employer if you already have one set up or if you have the ability to set one up. If you're self-employed or other situations, you can open what's called an individual brokerage account. And this is through companies like Fidelity, SoFi, Vanguard, Schwab. Those are the ones I like because they're reputable. It's free. You just go to their website, set up an account, and you can get started. So we know what investing is. We're putting money into something, an asset that makes us money over time, hopefully. Then we have gone and we have gotten an account set up to where we're going to put that money. It's time to now start buying the assets to put into that account. For beginners, I recommend buying assets in the form of stocks, but not just any stocks. To start, I always recommend buying what are called ETFs, and that is an exchange traded fund. Basically, a stock at its core is a small, tiny piece of a company. The company offers these pieces to the public, anyone that wants to buy them, so that they can become an owner in the company. And if the company makes money, then all of those people who own pieces can also make money. What an ETF does, it takes different companies and puts them together in a basket. Instead of just going and buying Google or Amazon or Microsoft or Tesla separately, a fund binds all those companies into one basket. So then when you buy the basket, you're buying a piece of each of those companies. And the reason I like doing this is because you get automatic diversification. I'm not a fan, especially for beginners, of buying individual stocks because, spoiler alert, it is very, very difficult to beat the market and predict what stocks are going to do well and what stocks are going to tank. And I just don't think that as a beginner, you should take that risk. Okay, so we're gonna go into our account. We set up our Roth IRA, and now we're gonna tell it we want to buy stocks, and we want to buy stocks in the forms of ETFs. What ETFs do we want to start with? If you're a beginner, I always recommend starting with an ETF that tracks what's called the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor 500. And what that is it is the 500 biggest companies in the United States. So again, it's going to have in it Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Nvidia, maybe Costco, Home Depot. These change. So if one company starts doing bad, it drops out of the 500 and then the 500 adds another company in there. So you are always diversified. And the S&P 500 over the last 100 years has had a track record of a return of between 8 and 10%. Now you can get better returns than that, but to start, that's pretty darn good. And that's going to beat your 0.01% savings account at your traditional bank. It's even going to beat your high yield savings accounts. So pick an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. All right, so let's recap. We know what investing is now. Investing is simply putting money into something called an asset. That could be real estate, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, something that appreciates increases in value over time. So we're putting our money into that. And the way we're putting our money into that is we're setting up a Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account. That way we get tax benefits on it. So we go to Fidelity, we go to Schwab, we go to Vanguard, and we set up an account so that we can have a Roth IRA account. Once we have our account set up, then we are going to buy stocks, and we are going to buy stocks in the form of ETFs or exchange traded funds. And we want to look for funds that track the S&P 500. In another video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this. Hope you found this helpful. If so, please give it a like, and you can follow me for more personal finance content and how to build real wealth.